Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm in the mood to do a little mixing video, and I think that, as you can tell, I'm in a different location. I am using a coffee cup to prop my phone so I don't have a good overhead, but I've been in the mood for pinks and greens, springtime colors. And in this palette, I have a palette, and I'll take my phone out, move it a little bit here. I have this palette that I had stuffed away in a closet. I'm actually working in an undisclosed location, so I was going to just put this little video out and do some mixing. And I cleaned an area off of this palette, and the only thing that I'm lacking in this palette is a white. I like to mix with a white to tone things down and mute things and make things pastel. And if I had a buff titanium, which I don't in this palette, then maybe I could do it with that. And I thought I would just play and do some circular abstract or some flowers, and I'm just going to get started here. So I don't even have this palette labeled. I can remember going to a class at Cheap Joe's, and they had a bunch of colors out, and I bought this palette, and she told me, she said, take these colors and fill your palette up. So this is some sort of a quinacridone red. This is a little pinker. So I'm going to go with this. This is kind of like a quinacridone rose. I don't think it's an opera. I think it would be brighter. And let me just put some of this down. Let me move this over a little bit. And I'm going to water it down. And that's pretty pink, so I'm going to say it's a quinacridone pink. However, I'm wanting to get it just a little bit more on the coral side, so I'm going to add a little bit of this yellow ochre, just a little bit. And put one here. Yeah, that's a pretty color. And all the spring flowers are coming into starting to pop up. We had a cold spell, so they kind of went but I'm gonna try to capture them in my memory. And let's see, let's put some stems in. And I'm just gonna let it flow. Let's put some leaves in. We'll go dark here in a minute. This may not be totally accurate. I'm just kind of intuitive painting. Painting real loose. Just to get a little video up here for you guys. Let's see, we need a third. So maybe a bud up here. Maybe mix this coral and pink. Maybe add a little bit more pink, because it would be saturated. A little bud. And just pull it down a little bit. maybe take some of this and pull it over here for some dark shadow areas. Over here as well, let's a little bit more yellow ochre over here. I don't want it to go orange, which I did, so I'm going to mix this a little bit more. Mixing is my favorite thing. And I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more pastel. We'll put those darks in. And I don't have a white. Let's get some green and pull this down. And that mixed with that, so it kind of turned muddy. I did find a little tube of gouache, so I could put oh, it's kind of hard. A little tube of gouache and kind of maybe mix that in. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Maybe put one over here. And I like that. I don't know, maybe I should be working in gouache, but I just like that pastel with white. Like to use white watercolor. Now let's get some darker pink here and just drop that in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just doing loose, stay loose, and really it doesn't matter. I like that spring green. That is a color that was called Skip Green, I think, from Cheap Joe's. It's American Journey, and I think they still sell them at Da Vinci's website. Let's see. Let's put this up here. A little bit more dark in this green. And I'm just letting it mix with the colors I already have on the palette. Yeah, that's kind of pretty. Everything out there is just really taken off. It is in the 80s today. And aren't you ready for spring? Oh my goodness, I am. But I'm not ready for hot weather. I'm not ready for hot weather. Okay, so let's put a little yellow, bright yellow, in the middle of these. And maybe some and let's lift some of these. We need to get these petals out of here, or they're gonna show back runs, just like this is doing right there. Okay, we'll let that dry, and then come back and, oh, look, this is really uneven. We need to, that's better. We'll let that dry and then we'll come back and finish this off. And see what else it needs. Okay, so now I am going to I thought I'd take some mixed media, and I just realized that I forgot a stem from here. So I'm going to first use this magenta, and these are Prismacolor pencils, and I'm gonna just outline the petals here. I just went blobs on this so I could just give it some depth. And just see what I come out with. If it turns out, great. If it doesn't, but you know, it's a process and we do this for the process. So I'm going to take some circles and go around here and make it darker. And I think I will take some of that color and watercolor and give it another layer. I love watching other people's processes, painting processes. I get frustrated. Okay, so we're going to finish. I got interrupted there a minute, but you know, we're going to continue. I'm going to put this magenta near the center of the flower to give it some depth. And I'm really drawn by this color. It's just a little artificial flower over there, but I've been kind of inspired by it. So, and I'm not being real fancy here, but I'm going to take this color here, which is a peach deco peach. And I'm going to layer some, it's kind of transparent, but I've got some of this in there. So I'm going to, you see my head in the mirror, wave at you. Might do this as a voiceover. Okay, so let me put some watercolor down here and give it some shadow, maybe a little bit of green as well, just to give it some dimension. I'll do that over here. Maybe even some burnt sienna. And move that up a little bit. Put some burnt sienna in there. Give it some dimension. I don't know. Do I want to put some black in there? Sometimes black is good to use. I like using black watercolor. And if you get a little bit of yellow mixed in with it, it actually it'll turn it green. So it's not, just put a little bit of black on top of here. Mix a little black in with that pink. It's a good mixer. That made that kind of mauve purple. All right, so let's go and put some of this. You know, get creative with your mixes. If it doesn't work, you don't have to do it again. Let's see. Here's this gray. Let's get this magenta. Where is that magenta? There it is. And let's go and make this. I'll probably speed this up. Curve those lines. Kind of like it. Let's see. Let's follow this. Make those fold over. And let's do this. Let's keep your color pencils the same on each flower. And if you use a color, let's get this stem over here. Let's we're just being loose. I usually like to have a couple of leaves on each stem. Okay, that looks pretty good. This leaf I might have made too big, but oh well, I need a couple leaves there. Make this up here. And get some dark and add in there. Add in there. That's a nice dark there. Might put some over here. And if you do something you like, do more of it. Do more of it. If you're having fun, keep doing the thing that's fun. Kind of like that. I think I need a leaf right there. And one right here. Get some of that. Let's get some of that skip screen. I think Da Vinci still sells American Journey. So, on their website, that was such a fun thing, going to Cheap Joe's and doing those workshops. This one seems a little dark. I'm looking at my camera. So I'm going to get some skip screen. I'm going to really saturate it. And I'm going to lighten that up a little bit. Oh, that is pretty. Really take that and you take advantage of it. I think I'm going to blend that in. I really like the opaque colors. I'm looking at my values right now. So now I'm going to go in here with some of this red. And I'm going to get some darker value. You know, that might be a cool thing, is to, because I am looking in my camera right now. And painting. So I'm going back with just saturated color, rinsing my brush, and then blending that out. Very cool. I'm liking that. Let me do it on this one. Do it with that quinacridone red, I think it is. It could be alizarin crimson. I don't know. I didn't make me a swatch. But once you get used to your colors, I think it is alizarin crimson. Then you can, and color theory, then you can just use them. That's pretty. I like that in the picture. I'm looking in my camera and seeing how I like it. All right, so I've got my values. I'm seeing a light, I'm seeing a medium, and I'm seeing a dark. So let me go up so you can see it. When you get closer in, it almost looks like a hot mess. But when you zoom out, it's prettier. So let's do a simple border. I have this, these brushes are some that I picked up at Cheap Joe's, and they're called Midas Touch. I don't know if you can read those. So let's do a simple border. Sorry about my fingers. And let's do that in, green. Let's do it in green. I think I'm going to do it with this Skips green. And I'm just going to go across. I might let's see. Let's come down here. And I'm just doing it with this flat brush. It is it doesn't say what it is. Pull it back. I had to get creative in, I'll just do that over that. I had to get creative in filming. I'm going to do that over that. I don't like how that goes. I think it would have been better if I would have left a space down here. But so far, I'm liking it. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm just using some supplies that I've found and stuck in a closet. Supplies I haven't used for a while. And watching myself paint through my camera lens to get my values correct. So that's kind of cool. So, all right, well, talk to you later, and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you later. Bye. So this is a pencil. It's called 90% Gray, 90% Cool Gray. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to add some more dark. I must have really liked this gray because it's short. So I thought I was ending the video, but I didn't. Yeah, I like how that's looking. I'm still looking in my camera. That might be helpful. It's just tightening it up a little bit. Need to make that a curve. And make that a, yeah, that's better. That's much better. Yeah. So, and if you like it, you don't have to do this, but I'm just experimenting and trying to get more depth. Yeah, this 90% is good. I like it. not as harsh as black ink. It's not as harsh as black colored pencil either. Let's see, let me back that up. I'm losing my picture. I'll make that there. There we go. Next time I think I'm going to try to make some curvy leaves. I like this Prismacolor, 90%. So that's better. I think I'll try to shadow this a little bit, give it some dimension. You know, you can just keep working on it forever, for a long period of time, and the more you work on it, the more dimension, especially with colored pencils, you're going to get. And some pieces, you know, so this looks more round now. See, it looks like it's got some volume to that stem. I'll come up here. It just seems like isn't that cool? This is a cool pencil. I'll give this some. Very good. Okay, but that's where I'm going to stop. And, you know, you could go in and enhance your border, do all kinds of things. So thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Bye.